Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. But we're taking a look here at Gala, seeing what's going on. I told you we'd keep a close eye on this one here. Make sure we help you get where you need to go, of course, because this coin does look like it's ready to continue to take off. We actually had alerts set. If you watched my video from yesterday, you'll see I set an alert at 1.5 and or 1.7. Price didn't wick all the way up to 1.7 for the short, but it certainly came back down to 1.5 for our long. And just to quickly note here, we did take a nice long here at about 1.495 for Gala and took a good 22% in 4 hours. So again, congrats to our community members for that. I'm confident we'll hit additional profit targets, but just keep in mind this coin is doing very well right now. So we'll see what needs to happen next in order for us to continue upwards, or if it might break to the downside. Again, we got that cup and handle pattern validated. Let's go ahead and look at some other key factors here and kind of see what's going on in the big picture. Quick to note also, if you are new to the channel, thanks again so much for joining me here. Been trading for over 20 years, and I can tell you this is my favorite job of all time, and it's just amazing to be able to work with some really, really cool people. So be sure to jump on over to our Discord, say hello, and get to know everyone. We got an awesome group here, Twitter, Telegram as well. Some really cool opportunities there for us. So really appreciate all the support and the wonderful feedback I've been receiving. If you do want to become a community member, CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below. I have private training videos that teach you everything I know, and also, of course, mainly, benefit from these trade signals where you can take a healthy amount of profits. These are fully automated trades. We're taking these profits overnight when we're sleeping. Okay, again, nice little 82% from lever. That's a short from about 2.5 days ago. Again, I made videos on that to explain why we took the short. If you're curious, go back and watch that a few days ago. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So we can go ahead and delete this alert here because we already verified that and jumped on in. We'll leave the 1.7 available because I know that's kind of a liquidation level. I want to make sure we pay attention to that later. But generally speaking, we want to look at a few things here. First of all, we're above 50 in the RSI, so we've officially broken bullish. Again, that happened when we broke above this key level resistance here at about 1.49. Okay. Now the price continues to wick down there, but keeps getting rejected every time. So that tells us we're in pretty good shape there. We can also see with our volume profile, we're building a strong amount of volume at this range or higher. So we're starting to work our way up. Keep in mind, 1.618. Very, very common area in which you'll see an initial rejection. We've seen 2 candle wicks up there to reject. There's a great chance we retest that again. It'll break through there, but keep in mind we have a lot of volume at that range, kind of letting us know we have somewhat of a resistance. Okay, and a lot of that volume is based on this previous range here, of course, and it's just one of those things where we can see the price action kind of trying to retest that level, but again, we'll worry about that a little bit later. But right now, the thing I want to focus on is a couple of key factors here. So kind of note we got the 50-day SMA working its way down. We talked about this yesterday, how we saw that initial rejection off of that level. We keep seeing the secondary rejection and perhaps even a tertiary and a fourth one as well. Okay, so it's going to continue to do that. But the key takeaway here is that we're working along the right side of the tracks here on the 20-day SMA, and that's a good trend setter. Okay, good shift in momentum. Now that we're above that level, we should experience the price action continuing higher above that level. It's very common to reject off the 50-day SMA initially, and to inevitably break through that if you continue to retest. The second retest here today is a good sign. Even though, yes, we have a doji candle here, the day is not over yet. We've got 6 more hours left on this candle. So let's take a look at the 4 hour and kind of see if there's anything to extract. The obvious indication here I can see is this ascending trend here, or why don't we just move this guy up here? No, you know what? We'll go ahead and draw a new one out because I like to leave that previous one open. But if you can kind of see here, there is an ascending trend here forming with the most recent data. So again, this is running concurrent with the 50-day correction. That is the 20-day simple moving average. So the 20-day SMA is working its way up. Holding above that level is important. If we do break below that, we might need to reevaluate, but we do got some nice key levels here. This is a potential golden cross here coming up here as well to kind of give us that extra support. Keep in mind, you hear the word golden cross, you think it's just going to explode and continue higher. It doesn't always work out that way, but what it does, it just reaffirms the fact that we're going to have a nice amount of support being above both moving averages. We already have that support right now. So the price comes down below that level, we got maybe cause for concern, but until that point, we are good to go, and we can assume the price is going to continue higher. It may not continue on this ascending trend here because the 20-day SMA only lasts so long for a trend, but the key here is the 50 and the 200 are more appropriate for those rates. That said, let's go ahead and take a look here. We can see money flow index is coming out of this coin. It dropped pretty hard because this guy here, with the price wicked all the way down and then jumped right back up. So that led us to believe here that 1.5 is a very strong support level. Exactly why we took our long position there at that time. Take a look here at the MACD though. We do have a divergence here as well, so we can assume, or sorry, let's presume that the price action may continue lower. And we kind of got this somewhat of a pennant pattern here forming. Now, a lot of times those can break to the upside, but once more, we keep retesting this lower low level here. We could lose that 1.52 range. I'm not super concerned with that though. Personally, these are more bigger plays, bigger swings. So again, if you were to consider getting in, if the price does wick down to this 1.45, 1.5 range, maybe a good consideration to get in. But once more, we might break this ascending trend line and start to continue in a descending trend at that point. And we got to be mindful. So try not to get too hardcore with just like jumping in and getting like high leverage, high position size. I got the question earlier, hey, on our signal, just because we took profit, the price pulled back a little bit, do I want to get in a second time? And in short, the answer is no. You typically don't want to, because once a signal is sent, it becomes invalidated once you hit certain targets. So my summarization there is that if you're going to get in, low position size, low leverage, safe. Okay, that's how we survive. That's how we do this. I mean, you look at these trades here. 82% on a 5x leverage trade. That's a very safe trade. Those are safe profits. But you got to keep in mind that could have been 160%, 320% at 20x leverage. But once more, you could have got liquidated pretty fast too if the price turned itself around on you. Just some things to kind of think about. Again, I like to protect my traders and protect my own investments, so that is why you don't see a lot of large risk from me. But I'm risk averse. I used to come from a traditional market where a 2 or 3% play in one day is a big deal. Okay, and there was no leverage at the time either. You used to use a margin and get margin calls. So that's why I've developed a good strategy in this environment to kind of help survive. So let's go ahead and remove this just so there's less chaos. Let's quickly note a couple of things. Ichimoku Cloud, it's holding, but we're kind of on the edge here. So to me, when we see something like this where you got the price action within the cloud, it's considered a no buy zone. Okay, so I try to respect that and not get in if I don't have to. And we got in here, of course, earlier because that was a key level, key support. This isn't necessarily a support range. It's kind of, we are a support, so to speak, but it's still not a guarantee. We've lost momentum too. Conversion lines below the baseline. That's not a great sign. And then, of course, here, lag and span is not free and clear. So we've got 1 out of 3 indications here letting us know we're in good shape for a long position. So I would hesitate to take a long personally. I know it seems kind of crazy considering we're in one right now, but we took a majority of our profit on the first trade. We're going to let the rest ride and see if we can find another opportunity later. To me, this doesn't seem like an opportunity to get in or to do much with it. I would have taken profit by now if I was in a trade. In hindsight's 2020, but I would just recommend maybe waiting for a better position. To me, a better position would be somewhere in the range of 1.45, 1.5. Again, if it comes down that low, we got to recognize too that we'll be invalidated for the long, and we might be switching to a bearish type of divergence. So again, depending on your overall plan for this coin, it really just depends. Again, if you're swing trading, different story altogether from a hodl trader adding to your position. Right? Again, different strokes for different folks. If you got questions on that, go ahead and jump on over to our Discord or message me on Twitter or Telegram, of course. But I can tell you though that this is not really a place I like to take a trade personally, and I would just wait for a better opportunity. So yes, we're confirming bullish behavior here, but we're starting to see somewhat of a shift in momentum on the hourly and the 4-hour, and that could translate to a bearish type of divergence, and we want to be mindful of that. Okay, so try not to get too hardcore. I do think we're still in good shape. Don't get me wrong. I think the overall sentiment here is still positive, but I do think that with this little shift in momentum here, we're going to maybe see somewhat of a reversal potential. Okay, let's quickly see. I forget if Elliott Wave tells us if we see anything here. I don't think there is much. And then another thing to recognize too, and these are previous fair value gaps, but that's why I mentioned the 1.7 mark. There is a fair value gap up here at 1.7 from previous timeframes when the price dropped pretty hard back there in September, early September. Okay, so keep in mind that could get filled still. That's why we have an alert there. And to me, that would be a good shorting opportunity. So I'm more so looking for a short in the 1.7 range as a rough estimate, or potentially another long in the 1.45, 1.5. But once again, these are potential scenarios. That's not the exact situation. If it just goes right to that level, it's best you reevaluate and double check to be sure. I hope that makes sense. I know I kind of spoke in circles there for a little bit, but I just like to make sure that we cover all our bases and stay safe. So be careful, be cautious. If you have any questions, reach out, of course. Be happy to help. We got an amazing community over here. Thanks again to all the wonderful new members coming over. We got a lot of 5 or 10 people coming over pretty much every day. So it's really great. So really appreciate being able to work with you. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing the next video. You take good care of yourself. Thank you. Goodbye.